me and pet him, I knew that I was like, now we got to get these dogs out of here. Like, the dogs are going to die. They're going to freeze to death.
Officials say one of the dogs had a microchip, and staff were able to reunite both with their grateful owners. Hats off to Mr. McGowan and all the others involved in getting those two dogs to safety. Nicely done. The mayor said it was okay to throw a snowball and hit. He said nothing about chucking them at police officers. Now advocates are calling for the arrest of those people who helped.
There we go. Takes care of that guy. Morning, John.
Morning, John. You hear me okay?
Perfect.
All right.
You're the first one to hear, but that's normal. So you guys still snowed in out there?
Yeah, well, my guy was going to come last night, and he got tied up in another truck real late. He texted me. I woke up to a text. He wasn't going to get hit till about 6 this morning, so.
Well, you still got broken equipment, too, so.
Yeah.
Rough night for all these guys.
Yeah.
I know they were down the garage fixing somebody else's plow. I got this big-ass garage down the back. It's heated. So all my friends, Joe's friends who have plows, when they're broken, they call Joe.
Oh, he's a mechanic?
No, he's got a heated garage.
Oh, okay. Is Cisco coming in?
I don't know who's coming in. I told them all, I sent them all Zoom invites.
Yeah.
Bobby's coming in. Let me just check the back door here. He was here.
he should be careful when he's driving.
We all should be careful.
Well, he talks about that foot of his.
Well, you got to get around, man. Boy,
Yeah.
I mean, I know city councilors who lost their driver's license. They drive to the city council meeting. The power of politics. Snowy looking this morning. The cameras don't want to come up. I'll try it again. There we go.
Have you heard any reports about how the streets are in Lowell?
They're black.
Yeah.
I think Bobby's here. Somebody's here. I don't recognize the guy. Could be Cisco.
You got guests?
Joe Espinola.
Oh, cool.
This top camera, which is this guy, close this big window. Let it ride. Yeah, Bobby's here. Hey, Bob. Hey, that's the only thing to win, man. Yeah, I didn't get responses from Cisco or George Anthes. I guess they're gonna look out the window and see what his rifle looks like. I said them zoom in, but there's coffee over there if you want. Tommy Bobo's on the Zoom thing over here. Yeah, he's on Zoom right here.
And I shaved. I shaved this morning. Yeah, buddy.
I don't think you're long time to go. That's just how I feel. You do a great job. That's a great job. There could be a time that you say, no, I had enough. You can skip that. You know, I don't remember because this guy. It's all.
Yeah. Why did you doing the show?
But it's too good to be there and not be here, you know?
Yeah.
Well, it's a little, Bobby, it's a little.
It's Cisco, right?
Yeah.
You couldn't bring this Puerto Rican thing, you know how I say it? Anti-bucket. You couldn't bring that into the play at the schools, which was the mayor that we have. You know, I know there's no school in Iowa for more than a month. Because our mayor's out in the snow, where McDonough would be, if he was in the McDonough shape that he used to be. It's gonna be a good year for the show.
Hey, what do you think of Sakai running against the kid?
Yeah. Wow.
He'll beat that kid.
I think he will too.
Yeah, I think he'll beat it.
Because I don't think Carr's done anything. He's already hiding behind the bushes with the Democratic Civic Committee.
Yeah. No, and he'll be honest, he took the people, the white people, on Stevens Street, all of those.
Yeah.
I think he could win. City Hall open today.
They opened it, I heard they opened it noontime, I just heard stuff.
Yeah, that town.
What you can do today is, before you go anywhere, call them up.
Yeah, town hall's opening at noontime today. Great.
You did a lot of years in front of Marvin Basket, right? You did.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look, it's true, I won't say it on the show today, because, who's the hell, me?
Cisco, if he shows.
The Bullets was closed. I can't believe that.
Yeah. They closed all their stores at noontime yesterday.
You know it's bad when they close. I was at home, I did no shoveling. I'm not a thing. I didn't do any physical activity. And I still got a lot of things.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, my arms. It's one of my arms
nothing. And I'm pretty, my kid does everything. I'm my plow guy. My son up there. I'm blessed.
Oh, yeah, it puts a smile on my face when I see you with your grandson.
You see that latest picture of him praying? I love that one.
That was nice. Beautiful.
He's been quiet lately. Yeah, he's been quiet for a while.
Bobby, you want to open the show? I'm ready. Wait, Francisco Maldonado is texting me.
Yeah, lots to talk about. I wish Eric would call in this morning. I want to hear his take on the senior center. That's something. My God. Wow.
Listen, since you said that, I can, once the show goes on, I can bring that up easy. You know he's going to be calling in because he's out on that farm.
Yeah.
When he's out, you know he's out. We hit him pretty good on this our show.
Oh, yeah.
We make a call. I didn't hear about the senior center. Tell me a little bit.
I guess there's a thing before the council tonight to sign a 15-year lease at a tune of $7 million. I'm not 100% sure. So much per year. A 15-year lease. So.
No, we ain't doing that. The deal is, we were supposed to get it for free or $1. That was the deal. Call Johnny Cox up. Johnny Cox made the deal. I think Bernie Lynch was around. There are a lot of people who can help out with this. We're getting screwed here.
Yeah.
So, Bob, you want to open the show? When you appear on the screen, you'll be on.
Good morning. Welcome to the Dawn Patrol. I'm Bob Hoey today. I'll call myself the host until Cisco comes in.
Cisco ain't coming. He's going to Zoom.
Okay, he's going to be zooming in. He would have been the host of the show. We got Tom Bomil. He's out there on Zoom land, which I don't like zooming. Tom, you look awesome zooming, by the way.
I don't either.
No, but you do a good job at it. I had to do it when I was on the school committee, so it's not a big deal. But if I can make it into the show, I'd rather be here.
Me too.
Get my free coffee, which is always really good tasting coffee. This is the best, so if you want to come on this show, it's easy. It's easy to send a message in on our show, or just send a text to 978-808-8200.
So how much snow did you get at your house, Bob?
I didn't do anything. I didn't shovel. I stayed in the house watching my grandchildren shovel. And my wife especially, I couldn't believe she worked so hard, that girl. It's unbelievable. But I'd say 8 inches. I don't think this area got a lot of snow. I'm thinking
out here we got about 10 or 11 inches.
Yeah,
that's not bad.
Yeah, maybe we might have had that much, but I don't believe it. The wind was...
They said Tewksbury had 11 inches.
The wind...
Tingsboro had 9.
The wind was incredible. And anybody watching the show want to know, Lowell schools are closed. I know that.
That was smart, but they took way too long to say Lowell schools were going to close.
Well,
Right.
Believe me, I didn't move around much. I drove from my house to here this morning, and I think so far, after the storm we just had on top of the other storm, I have to think the city's doing a pretty good job so far. I don't live on those side streets. I live on a dead end. Our street's terrible. If I had to rate it 1 to 10, 10 being the worst, we're a 9. My street, dead end street behind the school, buses, kids, everything. Pretty bad the way it's plowed. And that's just my opinion. But the main streets to get here, great job. They did a good job. So just be careful. And the key in snow, slow down. That's it. Just slow down. When you're driving, you can't keep doing 50 when the snow's out there, right, Tom?
Oh no, and people do. They're crazy. They drive like nuts.
So So another thing, I don't know what you did this weekend, but I went down to Salisbury Beach with Jerry Begley, a great friend of mine. We went to see a cover band for Aerosmith.
I saw that post. Yeah.
And I fell asleep. I fell asleep during the concert.
Cisco's here.
Can you hear me? Hey, Bobby, Johnny, are we supposed to see Bob? I don't see Bob on the screen. Are we supposed to, me and Cisco are supposed to see Bob? We don't see
No,
him.
you're not going to see Bob.
Okay, well, I miss Bob.
Good morning. I hope you can hear me.
Hello,
There's a
Cisco.
little trouble this morning. I'm not as smart as you guys with this Zoom thing.
How are you, Cisco?
Good, Tom.
How much snow at your house, Cisco?
We had a lot of snow. I was out twice. First time I went out on my snowblower, lost a bolt and folded up in half and disconnected some of the motors, and I had to figure that out.
Oh, boy.
So I got it back together. It just, oh boy.
Nice to hear.
Everything vibrates off. I had a couple bolts that were loose, so I ended up working on that, and it made the job a little more difficult, but we managed.
Yeah, nice to hear your voice.
Do you have a plow on your truck?
No, I'm thinking about it, you know. Money to be made, right? No one else wants to work, right?
Well, it's a lot more work than you think it is. I love plowing snow, and had a great time. I haven't been able to plow this year, but hope to get back out there soon.
You know,
Tommy,
What's going on?
Somebody wants you to confirm you're wearing pants this morning.
Yes, I am. I'll admit they are jeans, but you say I have a sport coat on.
I should have put a sports coat on.
and
I'm at home. I can change.
So lots going on with Sakari Chow for office, the election next Tuesday, and the senior center. Those are three hot items we can talk about, I think, this morning.
oh boy, all I could think of, Tom, I'm sorry, is what Trump's going to deliver tonight and how long it's going to go.
Yeah, that's another one.
That's all I could think about.
I got a comment from Jay. Good morning. On the menu tonight is Puxatawny pot roast. Officially putting a bounty on that furry creature for netted 6 weeks of winter. Back to Bobby.
Yeah, you know, Cisco, the spring break coming up. I think Puerto Rico, you better book now if you want to go there, because people aren't going to go to Mexico. That's
pretty good. I had someone try to book my place for 90 days. I'm like, wow. I'm like, we'll work on a deal. But, it's hopping in Puerto Rico right now. Well, it's 85 constantly out there. It's beautiful.
Did you guys see that thing with the California governor there? I don't even know his name, but
Newsom.
yeah. Did you see how he said you can't find your birth certificate? I don't know how to get one. All this type of stuff. I'm saying this guy's out of his mind. I think he's beautiful, but I'll just say on the show what we should say is something local. Stay local for a minute. And what's on my mind a little bit is after going to Salisbury, having a good day, falling asleep during a concert, and coming home and then watching the USA win gold in hockey, because I like it. You know, I like all sports, but to win the gold medal, what was it, like 50 years since we've won one?
1980.
Yeah.
In hockey, 1980.
I watched the whole game. It was incredible. We were in a hotel room down in Seabrook. Only paid $100 with a breakfast. It was unbelievable. The guy I was with, he ate so much, Tommy, probably cost you $100.
Oh,
Yeah, younger prison guards. They took me out, you know.
They always take care of you.
Oh, yeah. Then I watched that game, which was incredible. You know, had a lot of laughs. The four guys I was with, but sports, and then I seen John's favorite when I make comments about Marty Meehan. I seen him on a show the other day. His contract's about 2.5 more years. I don't believe.
Well, Marty Meehan, how many times you married?
I don't know. All
Number
I'm
three. I think he's
saying
on
is
number 3. I think he's on number 2.
I think he's,
Tell that,
I think he's on wife number 3.
Yeah.
We have Lowell Catholic having him being the honorary guy at their big gala ball.
You know,
No, get out of here, really?
That's,
Wow.
well, I'll stay, Cisco, I'm going to stay on the subject because I know you probably, out of all the supporters of Eric Gitcher, the mayor, during this campaign, I know how much you loved him, and I was right behind you. I don't think Marty Meehan will last 2.5 years. He can leave in about a year. He'll be happy after baseball.
He's going to be. I'm 70. Well, I'm going to be 71 in July. He's going to be 70 this year. So.
Well, but I'm.
I know he's a year younger than me. So, but, you know, I don't know why these guys want to keep working. I know. Just get a good pension and relax. Take
it's
life.
the power.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
everyone is.
I
How
agree
much
with
work do you
John.
think he does every day? How much work do you think Marty does every day?
Listen,
Zippity doodah.
please don't break the chain here. Cisco, listen, what I'm hoping for is he, excuse me, stays at least another year just to get the baseball, what I see coming for Lowell with this Division I baseball coming here, 20-something games, home games, Division I, come on. That's like getting, to me, the spinners back. So, and you know it's the mayor. I'm talking like I'm the mayor right now, because the mayor, he's been the key to this. He's been the key to this. So keeping Marty Meehan in office for maybe another year might be a good thing for baseball, because I'm excited. Oh, yeah, Tom. Telling
I
you.
agree.
Yeah.
I think, and I'm hearing rumors that there's still a shot that we could get a minor league team back here. That's what I'm hearing.
That's me. That's how I'm feeling too, man. I'm
Yeah,
excited.
I'd love to see another minor league team.
And what's another thing I wanted Cisco to hear, because I heard it off Tom Bomil. What's going on, Tom? Say it so maybe Eric Gitcher calls in.
About the senior center, John and I were talking about it. I don't know if you're Eric. In fact, Cisco, you posted something, didn't you? About that?
Yeah, I think, clearly what I've been reading is that there's a breach of contract, and it's not the city, and it's just, it doesn't sound right that they're making the issue about extending a contract that doesn't need to be extended.
15 years, a tone. I forget. Was it $7 million over 15 years?
Yes, yeah, like $500,000 a year. You know.
I mean, this is going to be the true test for this new council tonight. I think this will be the true test.
Yeah, I'm going to attend the meeting. I mean,
if they have the votes like they claim, remember we said about Marty brought up about the switch over to the 7-4 vote. They should this thing should go down in fire. I mean,
There's talk in town they're going to cancel tonight's meeting because the parking ban's still in effect.
Oh, okay.
That's talk,
Yeah.
not fact.
Yeah. Well, not parking garages. They can,
Yeah.
I mean, what do you do? I mean, it seems like certain people in this city are getting filthy rich off the taxpayers, and like I said, unless we get more engagement, I do like the fact that the young generation that are engaged right now, the ones that are protesting, they're already starting to protest in regards to the senior center. They're out and about, and they're mustering their people together. It's going to be interesting if they get a large crowd show up.
And then local politics, this is just me talking. I believe it's getting better for, let's say, the Republican side of government, but it hasn't closed the gap enough to try to beat out Vanna Howard. She's going to be tough to beat. I think the only one that can beat her, really, and that's if we all get together, all the unenrolled people, independents, is to go after this Joe Espinola, in my opinion, out of those two, because I like Sam Meese too. But out of those two, Joe's the one that has a shot at beating Vanna Howard. If we all get out, yeah.
If we're going to be realistic, she should wrap this thing up. I can't see, unless we a real shock, a real upset. But
yeah, I feel good about Joe Espinola. I really do, and I'll tell you what.
I do too. It's getting my vote.
Well, you know.
I'm going towards Joe myself right now. I haven't made the decision yet. I have the ballots, and they haven't gone out yet. But,
like Bobby, I like Sam Meese, but it's just don't. Besides, he's not president. I mean, I'm surprised that nobody's made that an issue more. He still lives in Lawrence.
Yes, I think that's the big issue. His commitment hasn't been truly shown, and he's shaky when we ask about it. He has a good answer, but it's not the answer people want to hear.
No.
And I think that's going to hurt him. I think people are very decided that he hasn't stepped up to the plate in that decision making, and they're swaying differently if they haven't voted yet. I think the big thing today is, what do you think about? We really got to push term limits in this country. It's you got people fighting about no kings.
Ain't gonna happen. Ain't gonna happen.
Really?
Like term limit for cops. Why don't we have term limits for cops?
I believe 20 years is the lifespan for a cop.
No, it should be 6.
Do you know for term limits, John?
No, I'm not for term limits.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't believe we'll see term limits either, but I think it's a good idea. That's for sure.
It's a good idea.
It's never going to happen. Yeah, you're right.
You're hoping for Santa Claus to come down your chimney,
But
Bobby.
you know what?
My dear departed friend Phil Shea used to always say, term limits is every 2 years. You can vote people out, but that's term limits too. But come on, let's face it, you're never going to see a person like Laurie Trahan get beat. You usually when you're a state rep, it's very rare. And if you're going to beat Sakari Chow's smart, because if you're going to beat an incumbent rep, you go after him in his first term. After that, he's there for life.
They got.
My opinion.
When Laurie Trahan won that year, most of us that were into politics, let's say local school committee or city council, we got a call from someone to come down on the front steps of City Hall to take our picture with Laurie Trahan. And if you remember that race, that had a recount in it. It was a close race.
Very close.
Very close. Yeah. But the support she had locally, oh, God. There must have been, I want to say 60 type politicians on the steps of City Hall for her.
Well, now, in Massachusetts, the state rep, their job is HR for the state. They get your job over to UMass. What do Congress people do? What does Laurie Trahan do? Can anybody tell me what
she does? I'll say it.
Federal jobs?
She follows along the Democratic Party. She votes in favor of everything. Even if Trump said something good, let's say Trump said something that we all like, right? They'd still go after it. They just hate the guy. And that's got to end. How about tonight, huh? Come on. I wish you were DJing at Cisco. The State of the Union, Trump's talks tonight. He's going to bore us. He's going to do a long speech. He's already warned us,
I still worried if he goes off track and starts talking stuff. I mean, I've had enough of Trump. To be honest.
I hear you. I
like his policies. I like some of his ideas. The country is in turmoil. And this guy is the cause of it. I mean, we're real close to being in war out there, and it's probably more him an ego and trying to, put his name on the history of this country, forcing it instead of earning it.
Well, don't forget, Cisco. The media is on the Democratic side. They're only reporting what they want you to know.
Can you imagine those guys that drive those cigar boats? I think that's what you call them, loaded with drugs. You don't think they're worried about doing that anymore? What Trump did, just on that alone, how many boats did he blow out of the water? Over 10, 11 of them.
I get to say about Trump, if I could have a conversation with him for an hour, just why do you get involved in stupid stuff? Why did he get into it with the Olympic guy? Was there an Olympic player he got it into, a verbal thing? Why?
I think he said something negative about the female winning the gold medal or something like that.
Yeah, come on. But everything else, I still rather the alternative of Biden or Kamala. I'd rather have Trump.
And I feel so good about my grandchildren's safety. You just look at everything that's going on now. Mexico is scaring me really bad because I know too many people that like to go there, and I just wouldn't. I recommend you go there right now. Go to Puerto Rico, and
but you know, Trump. Like I said, the concern I have, he's really empowering the left, the real left. And look, they're still trying to kill him. You know what I mean? He's going to go down in history as the most hated president that took out more people than were able to take him out. You know what I mean?
The 3 years I did in the Army, I'm a guy that's all for Trump because of what's going on with Iran right now and what could happen there. That just scares me to death. I really hope nothing happens, but it's not looking good.
No, I think that was a great move on showing the force that we have by moving those units and ships out that way. That was great. We didn't do that with Biden when they invaded Ukraine. You know what I mean? That would have ended. That war would not have happened if we decided to build our army on the other side of the border with Russia and said, hey, we're going to be over here practicing, and just in case you decide to cross the border, we'll address that. But I definitely think that's the right move as a nation.
Yeah.
That's why you build an army, is to show force and say, look, if you want to cross the line, we're here, So I think that's great. I hope they settle that without actually going into a conflict. We've had enough American soldiers die.
You know what I'm really scared of is our own problem, really, with Mexico. If he goes after these cartels, how much they're going to come back at him and, do kidnappings and bombings and everything else. It could be a rough time. It could be a rough time right here down in Mexico and stuff. It could, you could be living really close to the border and things break out. A lot of people could get hurt by this. I think it's going to be one of the bigger ones. Just that cartel stuff, didn't they just kill a leader or something? I've been following it a little bit, only because I watch Fox. That's all I watch.
We're 2 short years away.
Hang on a second, Tom. Bob, you want to read these 4?
Just what we want, an elected official who doesn't have the knowledge how to Google to get your license or passport. I like that one. The younger generation have been awoken from their sleep, that the politicians in the state are ripping them off. There's only one person that's the second one. The third one, there's only one person to ask about term limits with the initials MM. Okay, help me out with the MM, John. Mighty Man, yeah. I'm going to say more about Mighty Man in a minute. The next one is one thing that won't happen in tonight's speech is it won't get ripped off. It won't get ripped off in front of the country, J. Then the next one is Trump was almost assassinated twice, and he has to tone it down. Swinging and a miss from the panel. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't think there's a thing, and I know I could get a lot of people chiming in on this. I don't think there's one thing you could say to me, one thing about wallets are going to get fatter. Believe me, it's going to happen. You know why? Trump wants to win the midterms. And what's he going to do? He's going to make our wallets fatter. That's how I'm going to vote. Sorry to say it. Other than that, you could find his things he does, his mouth, he talks too much like me. You're going to make mistakes. He's going to make mistakes. But I love the guy. Sorry, I love the guy right now.
So we're 2 short years away from the presidential election. Really, It's going to be here before you. Who do you think is going to be running?
We got 2 and 8, Tom. We got 2 years, 10 months.
Well, the primaries start. That's what I mean. The primaries start 2 years around February, right?
The primary. Okay, I'll give you that. Yeah.
You know,
who's going to run?
I drove Eric Gitcher crazy. Asking him before he even run. I said, run against Laurie Trahan. I thought he was a hot item. That's how you got to have the right person to beat her. Believe me, it's not going to be just one of us, or Joe Schmoes, running against her and winning.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But Eric didn't want it. Why? This is why I love the guy. No, I love my job where I am out here at the school. Wait till more people find out about him. Because I've only known him roughly maybe 3 years, but we go back a long time ago when Freddie owned the variety store. Freddie Bahu, go there for coffee in the morning, and Timmy Fallon and all of us would hang there. That's where I met Eric Gitcher. But I know Cisco could chime in at any time, because I know you're a big supporter of that guy, and boy, you should be happy we have him as the mayor. I'm telling you, because
No, Eric's the right guy. His heart's there, and he's going to make decisions that are truly in the best interest of Lowell.
Yeah.
So I'm happy he's at the helm. It's going to be challenging. I think he has enough votes there. I just hope that we can get the ship in the right course, right?
no, I think. I can only say this for the schools, Cisco. I don't want to get into you and I about the show, because you're going to bring some great things to this show. Hopefully, we can keep you for a year or two. Because of
No, I
this.
don't plan to go anywhere.
We got to sign him to a long-term contract.
Yeah, like Marty Meehan. Marty Meehan has 2.5 more years on his contract.
There's no term limits here.
No, I know. But you know what it's like about pension. Marty Meehan's pension is going to blow us out of the water. He's going to have 2 of them, right? 2 pensions.
He's already collected his federal pension.
Yeah, I think he's done a good job. Look at the top of them, the money. John brought up the pay scale of people for the state. Basketball players, hockey players making $1 million, stuff like that. But my friends that are working in the prison system, I'm pretty sure, I know one that's probably made over $300,000. That's a lot of money. $300,000 is a nice chunk of dough. Think of I'll bring it up so you know my cousin. I love my cousin. His name's Tom Hoey. We call him Duffer. He's got a wife that runs Lowell General. She does a tremendous job. $1.4 million. That's what she makes. I call him lucky now. But again, go look at the individual that's making that money. I don't care if it's her, Amy Hoey. I don't care if it's Marty Meehan making the big money. Go see him. Go look at both of them. I'm telling you right now, that girl there, and she's just married into my family, okay? A lot of brains, and she knows how to operate. She knows how to take care of staff. Oh my God, is that important? She knows how to pat you on the back after you do a good job. That's all I looked for. I didn't care, I never went out on those things. Hey, Cisco, you know how some people go out on an IA, industrial accident or whatever. I watched it for years. People go out after that's who you got to worry about. The staff, when you're wrestling an inmate down on the ground, trying to cuff him, put the cuffs on him, you got to worry about the guys coming around the corner, jumping on the pile so they can go out on inmate violence, it's called. Oh boy, you should see that thing. 100%, you get your money tax-free, 100%. None of your time dies. You pick up all your time. You could be out 1.5 years. 2 years, you could be out 5 years. Oh, it's really terrible. They got to look at that whole system. Hey, if you get hurt, you get hurt. I understand that, but there's too much, what's that word I'm looking for? Too much people abusing the system, like sick time. Sick time's a beautiful topic,
Well, Bobby,
It's a beautiful
just a
topic.
second, right?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
How much sick time did they have to buy off you when you retired?
Zippo. I got 100% for my sick time.
Do you think there was any kind of abuse there?
Big time. Big time. It's one of the top 3, no doubt about it. But again, it was a perk. if you know what a perk is.
I know
See,
what a perk is.
okay, it was a perk that was negotiated in our contract, and it was mine. A day and a quarter a month, every month was mine. If I want to go striper fishing, I'm going striper fishing. Why should I take 20% when I can get 100%? Because it's my perk. It's like vacation time. That's mine too. My 4 personal days, 4. That's mine too. There's a lot of abuse. But the biggest
what were
abuse.
those days called?
What's that?
What was the label on those days? What do they call those days?
Sick days.
Sick days. Now,
Yeah.
the real word, what does sick mean? Going fishing?
Yeah, but so we have a perk, you know what's the definition of a perk, and it was 1.4 days a month.
My understanding of the
And
sick
if you wanted to bang out, you could bang out and abuse it. I did, I banged out, but I had to go to get a doctor's note. And again, go back and look at it. What was it? It was a perk that I earned. If you don't want me to have a sick day, take it back out of the contract.
No, just a second.
Okay.
My understanding is it was a sick day.
Yeah,
And if you didn't use your sick day, the state would buy your sick days back.
right.
You could also, and then later, you could gift your sick days to a colleague who had a long-term illness.
You could do that,
That
yeah.
came in later, and you just couldn't take a sick day because you wanted to go fishing.
Oh, buddy, my point,
That was
John.
done, but I
my-
don't think that was anywhere near what was supposed to be implemented.
I can only talk about the prison system. I know I got 20 cents on a dollar. I know teachers get 33 1/3% on the dollar. So it's worth saving. And I have a friend that's in our school system, a good friend and a great teacher, 40 years experience. He's got 500 sick days. He's got 500 of them. In climbing, one of the best teachers in the high school. They deserve it, and if they want to hold on to it, he's going to have a nice check. No doubt about it. But if you work inside with let's say the inmates, or you're a teacher working with the children, sometimes there's a lot of pressure, and it's not a good job. The people calling the shots. Yeah.
When I worked for the town, I'll admit it, we got 15 sick days a year.
Yeah.
I never abused my sick time, like with joint. Everybody's different, but I was grandfathered into a certain bylaw that when I retired, I almost got a year's pay because I didn't abuse my sick time. That's gone away. That perk's gone away. No more. But,
No, but it was.
I think that there are some people, that abuse it a lot. I know a lady worked for me with the town. She had more years than me. When she retired, she had no sick time because various illnesses, abusing it, those types of things. But that's how does it work with the police, Cisco? Sick time.
They've changed the contract. They've negotiated the sick time out of the contract as being payable at the end of the year. The kids today are actually using more sick time because there's no value to it. And also, I think we've changed on how we use sick time. We went to work no matter what. Today, it's more acceptable if you got a cold to stay home because you don't want to infect the whole office, right? So COVID has changed the ideology of sick time. So I think I don't have an issue with paying people for not using sick time because eventually you're going to have to pay. You either pay full or you negotiate it into a contract where it costs less for the employer. In the long run, it's a package to keep employees happy, and you just have to give and take. But I think sick time, those big numbers of accumulated dates, you're not going to see that anymore. That's changed. I think we're the last generation that is going to have, you have city employees that have worked 40 years, right? And, I thought 10 years ago they were trying to get rid of their sick time. And they were complaining about these payouts. You work 40 years as a secretary making I don't know, little money, and all of a sudden they're complaining that they're giving you $150,000 at the end of your term with the city. It's shameful. I mean, these people have been great employees. They've called in sick when they were sick, and they then use their sick time, and they had opportunities to negotiate these contracts. And the problem is, they forget that these contracts were negotiated with zero raises. You know what I mean? When these contracts are given, it's because there's no money. So what you do is, all right, instead of giving a 5% increase in pay, you give an extra 3 days of sick time. You know what I mean?
Want me to read these?
Trump was almost assassinated twice, and he has to tone it down. Swinging a miss from the panel. Laurie Manhands does not care about the people in the district. If she cared, she would go on city life and answer the tough questions. Jay. Yeah. Well, I just want to say the last thing about contracts and sick time. I come from I thought the strongest union in the state. Asked me, it was the name at the time, and Rourke, the ex-mayor Rourke's relative, Andy Rourke, God rest his soul, those people got me my pension. That 20 years, work 20 years, and you get 50% for the rest of your life, and then you're insured for the rest of your life. It's a good pension. And we also got the state police one. Listen, you're going to love this. The state police got one because they joined our union. 5,000 members, strong as bulls, you know what I mean? I was only a mule. I didn't make the decisions or the policies, but I carried out what the union needed to do. I was a strong union person, And the statey's got a 25-75. That means do 25 years of service, you get 75%. What a contract we gave them. Then they left us. They used us and abused. We were stupid. We made some bad moves. And that's why they closed Concord Prison. Believe me when I tell you, the doors of Concord Prison were closed because they wanted to pay the union back. That's how strong we were. But all they did was, when they closed it, they took all the staff and spread it out throughout the system. Can you follow me? So all those strong union people were put in all our different prisons. And watch and see what happens in that system. So enough for that.
How is the snow removal in the city? Wasn't that the big issue at the last city council meeting?
Yeah, I thought they did all right, man. That's just my opinion, yeah.
I drove through the neighborhood up here in the Upper Highlands, but we're on the outskirts, and most of the cars here have driveways. It looked pretty good. I ended up at the end of the street, the intersection. They really do a pretty poor job with the plowing, but I just pitch in and go and clean up. I think some people just have to give in and say, look, it's getting crazy. You either pay more taxes and get perfectly shoveled streets, but some taxpayers have to take some accountability, because the fact that a lot of us are not doing our job, our fair share. There's a lot of city sidewalks that don't get shoveled, and everyone's looking for someone else to do it. So if everyone gave a little extra, it's only a couple of days a year, right? Yeah. That's me, my personal opinion. I thought everything looked pretty good.
I wasn't out at all, but I heard Drake did a decent job. My son was out last night. He said the Drake roads are pretty good. So we were talking about the council a little bit ago, about the mayor and everything, and these new councils. What's your guys' opinion as to who of the new councils is standing out? As far as of the three new, is it three new councils?
Want to talk?
Yeah, Tom.
What do you think's doing the best?
Hang on a second.
Well, you just started it, Tom.
Put Eric on.
Yeah, you just started it, Tom, because Eric's called in, so hold a second.
Good morning, Bob. You look very lonely without those
We're in New England, and I think the hardest thing about these storms is the time length it takes. And yesterday's was interesting with the wind, and I think they did a really good job trying to keep up with it. But the problem is that when you keep people working for 40 hours in a row, they need a rest. So, I mean, when you look at the job they did, and they'll be out again today pushing back banks and stuff, and people are going to get upset. But that's their job.
Yeah. I thought the biggest problem was we had that last storm, and it all froze up. The temperatures were real low. And now you push this storm on top of that, so it's just making these places on the corners higher and stuff like that. But around where I live, I thought they did a good job. Good job, considering.
The other thing that I notice is, like, I just don't understand folks that, you're asked by your community, by the state, by the governor, right, to bunker up, stay home for a day, 24 hours. But yet, and someone's going to say, oh, but I had to go out. My kid needed medication or something. I'm like, how hard is it for you to just give the city employees and state employees an opportunity to get out there and do their job without you making it more difficult? I mean, I've seen some of the complaints on Facebook in regards to people. I know it's tough. You can't keep someone in their home for more than 8 hours, and they're out and moving around. And then they're driving vehicles with no tires, right? So there's no traction on the tires, and they're stuck everywhere, and makes the job more difficult. And then you have these issues where it looks like a street wasn't plowed because the plow has to make a detour because there's a vehicle stuck in the middle of the road.
Cisco, I want to go back to the mayor since he popped in to say hello. Eric, is there a meeting tonight, definitely, or is it up in the air? What's going on tonight?
No, there's definitely a meeting tonight, but, John, just going back to Cisco, one of the major challenges is all these driveway heroes with plows. We get the roads all cleaned up, and then the driveway heroes who, want to take it out of the driveway, and they just push it right back into the road. So today, that'll be the challenge for the police and for the DPW, is to go and find these people who are pushing the snow and throwing it back into the road. I mean, that's where the problem lies a lot of times. You look at some of the more dense streets, and they throw it right back into the road, and then they'll call you up and say, hey, you need to come remove it again. So it's a vicious circle. You push it from in front of where they threw it into the next door neighbor's house, and now there's a fight between everybody. And I think that they have to get better. Like, when I'm at home, and I haven't been really home for 37 seasons because of my job. My wife does most of it. But when you look, you see that she goes out there 4 or 5 times a storm. She doesn't just go out there once at the end.
Yeah.
So there's a meeting tonight, Eric?
Yeah, there's still a meeting tonight, Tom.
So what's going to go on? What's going to go on with the senior center? I saw your post about executive sessions and all that. That's going to be an interesting topic tonight.
Tom, I think that disingenuous people are always the challenge in government, right?
Yeah.
Back in 2001, there was a pact made to give away 5 properties down there and force it into a lease, and we paid that lease, and it was a gift back because of that. Now, the same company that was doing us all these favors and was so nice to us now wants to keep the building and get another $7.5 million. I don't care about the legal part, right? I look at it as, if you really care about the city and you care about the seniors, it should be just a signed piece of paper. Yeah, that was what the intent was. Let's get out of this. But that's not what they're doing. So, and it's sad that we're in a society where people will say, this guy has millions. It's not about millions of dollars that somebody owns or anything like that. It's about what did the deal really mean to the seniors. And, we got threatened in executive session that said if they didn't vote to negotiate a package that night, the lawyer from the other side told our lawyer that they would move to remove the seniors within 30 days, which we all know in Massachusetts you're never going to ever be able to do. But that was the threat across the table. And to me, that's where the line got drawn.
Wow, what a threat. Wow.
It's just, can you imagine, Tom, seniors from the senior center.
Hey, let me interrupt for a sec. I hope you got some sleep, but I want to say something about plowing. If you know how to plow, you won't understand what I'm saying. I went to work for Dan Durkin one time, and I went plowing, and I couldn't plow. I was terrible at it. I actually tore up some person's lawn, so I didn't plow no more. I only went out once. But a lot of people have a hard time with it. You got to teach them how to do it, how to handle the equipment. I'm just saying that about plow. I thought the plow guys out there with that storm did a bang-up job. How's that? But wait a minute. We're not done yet in this state. You know, we were number one when losing electricity. Number one place, Massachusetts. It's almost like 1 million people without electricity down on the Cape. And there's a lot of schools that are going to take a long time to open up. The bus stops are crazy. Things are pretty heavy duty. All right, we got a couple of texts. Last week he had Cisco read them all. Now he's letting someone that's had a hard time.
He can't Cisco.
I know. Listen, when the city keeps raising its taxes on its citizens, then they expect shoveled sidewalks and clean roads. They don't care to listen to the excuses. That's Jay. Thanks, Jay. According to the city council, the last snowstorm was inexperienced plow operators that the city council approved. Okay, I don't know if that was Jay or not, but okay. But Eric, I know how hard the job is, and I know what those plow drivers, the private ones that blow a driveway out and put it back in the streets. Oh, there's so many issues, but I thought the local people did a pretty good job. The local city employees thought they did a good job.
I think the resident highlights a very important piece when they say, about the experience and stuff. It's very hard to keep experienced drivers in government because of the long hours. And once you get somebody so familiar with areas, you try to keep them in that. Like when I ran the town of Lexington, and when we had people in certain areas, we kept them in that every single year in and year out. And that was their route because they knew where the mailboxes were. They knew where the curbing was. They knew which manholes are sticking up. Because, again, a lot of breakdowns happen that people don't understand. You have just the right number of plow drivers to do routes, and then you hit a manhole cover and you lose the plow edge, or, you get a transmission that goes down, or you get a flat tire. There are so many things that go on during these storms that we all take for granted. And then you're trying to fill the backside in to try to make sure. And the experience in areas makes a major, major difference when you have plow drivers that keep coming back. And Lowell doesn't seem to have that a lot with the same people. They may have the same contractor, but they rotate people in and out of trucks.
Yeah, and another problem you have with like the Parks Department. You'll get a guy, real good guy that used to do Fort Hill, let's say, and keep it immaculate, right? Some landscaping company private going to pick him up, take him away from the city because they'll pay him the money to do the type of job the kid could do. That's what I've seen in my lifetime.
Well, Bob, it's hard to compete today with municipal government employees, the employment, because when I first started, you're right, that was the issue. You could always cherry pick somebody out of municipal government. But today, you think about this, Bob. You get 15 sick days. You get paid almost as much as what they get paid, and you got steady work that, you determine where you're going a lot of the time. Like, take me, for instance. I haven't taken a sick day in 5 years, and I only have 5 left. So I got 75 sick days built up, right? If I wanted to take 30 sick days for the next 5 years, I can do it every year. Think about that.
No, I'm thinking about it. It's beautiful.
Plus pension, baby, pension. Pension, baby, pension.
Yeah, but...
I agree with John in a lot of ways. But, again, when you compare the two, you look at one side gets 401ks. You can't do matching monies in government, so you don't get that. So there's a balance in between. I would take my brother's Verizon pension over mine any day of the week. But, again, it just comes down to where you work and how things go. At the end of the day, government has to get more efficient with its workforce and make sure that they're there in these times that are tough and when you need them. Because a smart employee employee that doesn't want to work understands when to take sick time when the work is. You know, if you got the fall time is a heavy lift for the parks department with all the leaves and everything. So when would you take all your time? You take it at the, you know, when it's fall. Custodians, the same thing. You know, if you're a worker bee, you come in, but all you got to do is save your time so that you take your time off when there's school vacations, and then you don't have to do the heavy lifting. So there are employees who understand it, and you know this better than I do, Bob. But I mean, we got to figure out something that gets the work done.
You know, well, I've been satisfied anyways. I mean, I've been on John McDonough's shows here for a few years now, and all I worried about is the schools. And I've never been happier knowing you're the mayor right now. I'm dying to see the results of you being the mayor. You got a lot of work ahead of you, but I think that's where you're going to do your biggest job. You're going to do the best job for Lowell. It's going to be with the schools. And so far, all my dreams and wishes are coming true. So good luck to you. Good luck to you, buddy. You got guys like that Cisco that's watching us right now and listening. He's a big supporter. Tom's a big supporter. We all support you here, Mayor.
So, Eric, before you skedaddle, anything good on the agenda tonight? City Council agenda?
I think you're going to have a good night of discussions there tonight. Just the senior center is going to take up some time, and I think that, you know, again, we're trying to hold people accountable and try to get the best bang for our dollar for everybody. When you talk about how that lease is going to be paid, it would be paid by the CDBG funds, which is the Community Development Block Grants, which if we didn't have to pay that out of there, we can offset other areas with those funds and really, really make a major difference. So that's what we're looking at. And with the way the federal government is handing out grants today, there's no assurances that that money is going to be there, even though people will tell you it's been there for 51 years. It's a guarantee. Well, there's no guarantee, I hate to tell everybody. So we have to really manage these funds in a way that is in the best interest of everybody. And that property should be the city's.
Eric, let me ask you this, okay? The word on the street is the Golden Man wants to sign a new contract with the building owner. Are you going to let the city solicitor who works for Golden try to defend the city, or are we going to go hire Morgan and Morgan to fight for us?
Well, I think we're going to, you know, again, I can't speak for the other 10 city councilors, but in my opinion, you need an outside counsel to look at this whole piece and make sure that everything's in line before we even vote on anything tonight. That's my opinion.
You know, and I go back to what the mayor said in regards to the intent there. Clearly the intent was to take care of the city by giving back at the end of the contract, and now they're walking away from what they signed. So, I mean, the intent's there. Let's be gentlemen about it, and let's move on to the other side.
Cisco, you're right. Why would you write in there you're gifting it back if that wasn't the intent? And you know, it's just crazy to me that a business company, whoever, friends of friends, whoever they are, would think that it's right to do this to the seniors down there. When, if you really look, our senior center is no way adequate compared to like Groton and that. You know how many times we had to fight them just to get heat in the building, this company? You know, you had to fight for months. They had no heat. And again, this year, they're saying, oh, because the side doors get opened up, there's no heat in there. Well, that's not our problem. Put a heater over the doors and blow it in when the door opens up, and you won't have that problem. You rented at least us that building. You're the one who's supposed to take care of this, and they don't do an adequate job at all. And for anybody to give $500,000 a year, I still want to see what the cost in that area, do comps of that area, or what it is for rental of real estate space per square foot, and see what we're paying versus what they're getting over there. We still don't have that piece either.
It's
Gonna be interesting. I'm telling you, this is really bizarre, but I just couldn't believe when I read that. But
Tom, it's really not bizarre if you think about everybody in play.
oh, you're right. And I'm sure, like a person like Rita Mercier and if Rodney Elliott was still there, they were there when that senior citizen. They're the two people that really pushed for a new senior center. I'm sure Rita knows the history of it better than anybody.
Bring Johnny Cox in. Johnny Cox got this fire started, and he did a great job.
But again, John, through the years, people gain relationships, and sometimes you don't get what you want as what should be the answer. You get the political answer. So you got to be careful who's friends with who, how it works. This is the city of Lowell, and it's different. You know, it's a place where we all interconnect, and sometimes when you look at this marketplace and the rentals that we do and we give away, we need to be better at it because we don't have the money. Opera's gone. We had $72 million, and now we're struggling. How is that?
Well, we didn't take economics in grammar school. That's one of the big reasons. Bobby's going to read these two real quick.
Okay, hopefully Cisco is listening to Mr. Getcha. Don't get a plow for your truck. It's not worth the cost to repair it. Thanks for coming on the program, Mr. Getcha. Imagine if the manager had the stones to make an appearance. What a coward. Jay. Thank you, Jay. Oh, yeah, it's beautiful. It really is.
I will let you guys go. I got to run in to finish moving snow that we did all day yesterday to get ready for school, and we're all prepared, but there's no school today. So
that's right.
Everybody enjoy their day off for the schools.
Thank you.
Thanks, Eric. We'll be
Thank
watching
you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
So I wanted to interrupt him before he left. Tom, you're going to like this. My friend Ed Weezer, he runs the car wash there on Middlesex Street.
Yeah.
I worked with him and Bo James, and Bo has passed. He's no longer with us.
Right.
So it's going to be pretty good to watch what they talk about Bo James, because everybody has a story about him. And I'll say something else when we're on City Life in a little bit, because he deserved it. Quite a character, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But God rest his soul. Yep. So Cisco, I'm working on, I don't like to go down and get the registry at all, but I definitely said, you know what, I'm going to grab a passport. I know I don't need one to go to Puerto Rico. All I need is a real ID, something like that, right? Are you listening?
Yeah, no, I'm listening. I actually went down. I made an appointment for my real ID, and I actually forgot, so I had 10 minutes to get there, and I left the house, and I thought I just needed my passport to get the real ID, but when I got there, they said, oh, we can't give it to you. We need your social security card. And I said, I got a copy of it on the phone. Would that work? They said no. So I ended up just getting a regular license, because I waited for the license to be, expired, so I didn't have to spend, the extra $25. But it seems like I'm going to still spend the $25 unless I continue using my passport, which is probably what I'm going to do. I mean, I'm already spending $150 for a passport, so I'll wait for the end of this license period, and then I'll try again next time.
Yeah. So, getting back to our show, having you here, Cisco, like just for instance, when I was earlier talking about Trump, it was amazing how you say you're sick of Trump, which is good. I'm glad, because most police, I think, would vote for Trump. That's what I feel. Because, Tom, the prison guards, I know them very well. They were Trumpers. They're still Trumpers. I loved what happened to me. We got Joe Espinola in the house, by the way, but so I'll wait until Joe has a seat. Thanks for coming, Joe.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen who's listening, Joe Espinola from Lowell. He lives in Dracut, I believe. I'll let him say that in a minute. But he's running for state senate, and he has Sam Meese in the race, and then they hope to beat
We gotta go to break.
Anna Howard. So we'll be going on break, and we'll come back to that in a minute. But he's running for state senate, and he has Sam Meese in the race, and then they hope to beat Anna Howard. So we'll be going on break, and we'll come back to that in a minute. But he's running for state senate.
Tom, it sounds like it's just you and I right now.
So let them settle in. I actually wish we had made it to the studio. I mean, I would have gone in.
I would have been, yeah.
You and I right now.
No, I don't like doing it, but it's better than missing the show totally, you know?
No, I agree. Especially now that you got a lot of stuff going on tonight at that meeting. It's going to be important. I've been following Facebook. The real progressive group in the city are really going to try to engage tonight at that meeting. I hope they do show up. I really like the fact they're noticing that certain people in the city are taking advantage of
Cisco, he
their
gets like
connection.
everyone gets stuck on phone.
And I think when we get back live, I want to talk about.
We're gonna go back up live now. Go
Okay.
back up to Broadway. Huh? Yeah, I'm ready. Let me find the window first, okay? Here we go.
Good morning and welcome to City Life. Thanks for watching the Dawn Patrol. I'm Bob Hoey, the host today. Should be Cisco Maldonado, but he is zooming in with Tom Bomil zooming in, and John McDonough's behind the camera. And I have Joe Espinola right next to me, and we'll get to Joe in 1 second. I want to...
Don't forget about Cisco's dog.
Cisco's dog?
It's coming up.
Oh, no, that's beautiful. We'll talk about your dog in a second, too. I just promised a few friends that I would say, you know, God bless to Bo James has passed away, someone that a lot of people know the guy. Great guy. And Ed Weezer and I used to do a lot with Bo James, and it was beautiful, but I'm not going to say any more, just God bless Bo James. Let's go to Joe here. He's running for state senate. I only want to start by saying what attracted me to Joe. I even had an attraction a little bit to this Sam Meese, but I looked at both of them and I says, oh, Joe got it wrapped up for me. And this is the issue. When I watched Karen Casella run, the issue that got me to go for Karen was, and I worked hard as I could for her, was she run against her boss, which was a great issue. It won me over. I said, oh, anybody that runs against their boss, I got to back them up. So with Joe, though, what attracted me is how he's an independent, unenrolled person like myself. And he'll say it for himself, but that's the thing. He's someone different. It's different. He's not a Democrat. He's not a Republican. He's on both sides like all of us are on this show. That's what I believe. So, Joe, just go ahead and sell yourself, buddy.
Well, Bob, as you mentioned, being an independent or you're not a Republican or a Democrat, it's kind of hard to kind of put a letter after your name when you grew up in Lowell and you're a union person and you're a conservative person and you like to watch how your money's being spent. So it's kind of hard. In these days, in today's days, it's hard to be a Republican or a Democrat, and that's why 72 or 73% of the first district are unenrolled independent people. And I've been doing politics for a long time, and before it used to be, well, I'm a Republican or a Democrat, and because I want to vote the person, and you know, people had their reasons why. It was kind of like when you ran as an unenrolled or an independent, you were undecided on what you want. I have to say, it has been a joy running around into the district, knocking on doors when people were just saying, are you unenrolled or are you a Democrat or Republican? And they pretty much were overjoyed by the fact that I was unenrolled and I was an independent. I've had people say to me, I don't like politics, and because you're an independent, I'm going to vote for you. It has been extremely, extremely overwhelming and humbling at the amount of support that I've got just because I'm an unenrolled and independent. And it's people have had it. It's sad. And one thing that I've really found, the number one thing that I found going around into the district, knocking on doors, handing out my flyer, is that it's worse than I thought. People are struggling. It is crawling up the income levels. People can't do it anymore. their energy bills, their medical bills. And most of them all, I've had two people that I was knocking on doors, one in Pepperell, one in Tingsboro, and actually another one in Dracut, that they're two people living in the house. One person had to quit their job. They were collecting a sum of money from the state to take care of their spouse because of their health illness. So they were getting a stipend from the government instead of putting them in a nursing home. The government will give you a couple $100 to stay home and take care of them. And all three of them have lost that stipend. So they've lost their benefit. They've lost the ability to have to go to work because they have to take care of their spouse. And they've lost their benefit. And all three of them said the immigrants are getting everything that they need, everything that they want. Free housing, free health care. And people say they don't get health care, but they might not have a card, but there's somebody taking care of their health. And it's not about an immigrant versus non-immigrant. It's not an immigration issue. It's why are they more important than me? And why am I elected officials not taking care of me, my neighbors, and my residents, and my people who are citizens or people waiting to be citizens? It's absolutely atrocious what's going on and how this state and the leaders in this government are taking care of our people out there.
You know, you're running for a seat.
Joe,
Go ahead, Cisco.
Bobby.
No. Go ahead, Cisco. Go ahead.
No, Joe, and I had the same concern when I was running, but it seems that the Democrats here in this state have turned away from the folks that are not voting, that are not the so-called voters, right? Because, if you're not paying into the convention, the Democrat convention, they don't give you the stats, but they give their stats to the people that they support so that they can go after the gold voters and concentrate on the 5% that votes, right? That gets their politician in. I just hope the folks understand that unless we engage more the non-voters that don't go out for local elections, their local politicians are not going to be the folks that are going to be interest in their concerns. Because right now, the ones on the extreme side are the ones that are engaging. They're the ones that are going out and protesting. And as long as your politicians right now, your Democrats, have that 5%, they're not going to be in their seats, without the non-engaged voter going out and voting.
You're right, Cisco. Joe, and I'm with Joe 110%. Unfortunately, let's go back to Vanna Howard. She didn't show up to the debate, number one. Number two, 72% of the Massachusetts voters wanted the audit. She's done nothing to support DeZoglio in her fight for the audit. Okay, but you know what's going to happen, Joe? If this Senate race wasn't in place, I'm pretty sure she'd be running out of post for state rep this year. And it's unfortunate. People complain, but then you see the same thing. Like John has a favorite line. John McDonough has a favorite line. Name me one thing she's done in I don't know how long she's been on the State House.
Ever.
Yeah, well, let me say something too, because Joe's running for a seat that my favorite mayor held, Ed Kennedy, another guy, God rest his soul. He was a great senator and did a lot for a lot of people, not just Lowell. But I need to know more. The race, Joe, it's March, 3rd?
March 3rd, week from today.
Next Tuesday.
Right. And this is it. This is not a primary for see if it's you or Sam Chase against Vanna Howard, correct? It's right now it's every man for himself.
Well, let me ask you this question. Joe's gone to every single debate. Joe, has Vanna showed up to any debates?
No, she's not. And I've actually only seen her once out in the, I've been out to fundraisers, I've been out to celebrations for people, I've been out to events. I saw her once, and that was brief, about 5 minutes. So it's definitely at a point where, and if I was her, I would be in the same boat. Why would she want to go on a debate? Because she would say something that probably could hurt her. Right now, she has all the cards. She beat Rodney pretty handedly. If all those people go out and vote, they're looking at, if that's the same turnout of 6%, I'm hoping that The 94% who have had it, who are protested by not showing up to vote, I'm hoping that they're going out to vote this time
Joe,
to show that they're protesting
my
it.
take on all these administration is standing behind the Democratic machine. That's why nobody got a text to go and vote that day. The reason Rodney lost is administration stood behind the Democratic Party. All city and town administrations stand behind the party. That's what they did.
You know, Joe, you're trying to get elected after the best election, other than Karen Casella's election. The next best election was Dan Finn against Belinda Giron, and Belinda won by 11 votes. Now, her race, in the primary, you had Danny Finn against Corey Belanger, and
Belinda Aaron Gendron.
And Gendron. But Belinda blew them out of the water in the primary. She was like 500 votes to 300 and something votes. And then come the general election, and did you see how Danny closed that gap? He only lost by 11, which was an incredible, I thought he did a great job. He opened the door for running citywide because he had a lot of friends in Belvedere. They all teamed up. He only lost by 11, so think about that. And that's what I'm looking forward for you, but I'm afraid. So if this guy, Sam Meese, just give me a second, John, on that. If Sam Meese is in the race, is that taking away anything from you? That's what I'm hurting for. So I'm hoping your voters, like myself, are going to vote.
Well, I have a connection.
Let Bobby read these.
Okay, a question. With 72% of Mass residents wanting an audit, are the majority of them independents or Republicans? That's Jay. He sends something in, Joe, all the time. And the next one is feedback. I hear in the senior center is that there is a constant heating problem and not enough parking. And then the last one is should hold back rent with heat not working. Should hold back the rent. Okay, don't pay, I guess.
I've been down the senior center a couple of times over the past couple of months. There is not enough parking. I went down there for a dance with the YMCA youth group. They did a senior dance on last Friday, and it just so happens that I was part of the original founding people that started that group when the Y moved from downtown over to where it is now. So I went down there and I got to speak to the young kids. They didn't want any politicking, so I was just a spectator. But it was incredibly difficult to find a parking spot, especially with the snow now as well. And with that question that Jay had in regards to the 72% of independent unenrolled, I would say a majority of them made up the independent unenrolled, but there's a significant amount of Democrats also voted for the audit. And if you believe her, the governor did too. So we'll see how that plays out, because she's supporting, well, she hasn't really said anything, but Andrea Campbell now is backing the state, the House leader and the Senate Majority President. The Attorney General is backing them against the auditor for the audit, when the AG is supposed to be the AG for the people. And I don't understand how this is going, but it's a battle, and the more it shakes the trees, and I was speaking with Diana the other day, the more she shakes the trees, the more people are saying, well, what are they hiding up there? Why don't they want an audit? If the government calls your house and they say, get ready, we're coming to do an audit, do you say to them, no, not right now, and if I have to, let me pick the auditor and I'll audit myself and I'll send you the audit in the mail? To me, that's not sufficient. I believe that there should be the ability to come to some agreement, which is something that they do not know how to do, is come to some agreement and meet in the middle, compromise something so that they can get an audit done that will make each party happy. Everybody involved, the residents, the Republicans, the Democrats, I call it Senator DeZoglio, the auditor, everybody will be happy, but they won't sit down. They won't sit down. Nobody will come to Drake and talk about the MBTA. They just want to stuff that down our throats. It's really mind-boggling to me that they are trying to change a farm community, change the whole layout of the town, because of one bus route that goes through the town, which by admission of the two state reps who are running for the seat is subpar. So we're going to change the whole town of Dracut and all the other 12 districts, cities and towns that are being sued as well, because the state needs a self-made housing crisis from letting all these migrants into the state that have nowhere to live. And we have, I was just on another show in Lawrence this past week. There's 300 homeless people there. There's a daybreak shelter, which I'm familiar with from when I worked in Lawrence. There's a daybreak shelter there. There is, I think, 80 beds. It's two trailers pushed together as a shelter. And it's filled every single day. There's 300 people in the shelters, and God knows how many people on the street. What do we have in Lowell? I think we have about the same. And I didn't realize this, but did you guys know that Lowell is the largest shelter in Massachusetts, with the exception of the shelter in Boston?
A homeless shelter?
Homeless shelter, yeah. I did not know that.
And we
No,
might have,
I knew that, and it's full.
Every night.
and it
We
might
have
be,
to find another location.
might be the most violent one too. A lot of violence inside there.
Well, the best line that I heard was, may I get you, when he said, when they opened up the hotel. If we knew that the hotel was available for the homeless, we would have been able to solve our homeless problem years ago.
Joe, this question's for you.
Well,
Will you
you-
be caucusing with the Democratic or Republican Party?
I will say, right now, I will caucus with the party that best suits my district, but I will caucus with whomever I have to help Diana DiZoglio.
Yeah, don't mind me if I'm smirking or smiling, because when I watch you on TV here, and don't mind me, but God bless you, brother.
Yeah.
I hung with him.
Yesterday was his birthday.
You look so much like him. God rest his soul, but you do, your face, and it's making me smile, because I go way back with your brother, and he had a body like Hercules. I really mean it. And
He was a good guy,
great guy.
and I lost him to addiction. So
No, the Nancy
Camacho.
she's always on Facebook, and I
Yeah.
love her, and she loved your brother too, so God
Hey,
rest
Joe,
her
do you
soul.
have to caucus, or can you say you're just an independent?
I have to tell you, Tom, I don't really know. There's one other unenrolled person, and she is a state rep from another farm community, and she has the same luxury as I do. Most of her district is unenrolled independent, so she chose to run that way. She seems to, when I check the Mass Fiscal Alliance scorecard, she seems to vote mostly with the Democratic Party. But we're not really sure if I have to or not. I know I have to get into the convention. If I don't get into the convention to help Diana, because she needs to get X amount of percentage to vote. And I don't believe I can get into this caucus because it's already past the deadline.
Okay, buddy.
That's what they do with all the deadlines, And I don't like parties. The whole carpetbagging thing really is something. When I ran in 2018, when Dracut was part of Lawrence, Andover, and Tewksbury as a Senate, when I ran, I gave up my seat for the Greater Lowell Tech School. And that was something that meant a lot to me. But I didn't think it was right for me to hold one seat, run for another seat, and as I'm running for another seat. So I did not run for re-election. I dropped that seat, and I find it that when you carpetbag, people look at you differently. So the independent thing, to me, I was independent. I missed the deadline. I didn't want to, as you can see, there's some confusion around Sam's campaign on whether he's a Republican unenrolled because he had pulled papers for both, collected signatures for both, and then he decided to go Republican. To me, that is, you make up your mind, and I chose the Independent Democrats, and I'll tell you, when I looked at the numbers, when I seen 72% of the people in the district are unenrolled and independent, I formulated a narrative. To me, there's 17,000 Democrats, there's 9,000 Republicans, and about 80,000 unenrolled independents. So if I have one worm and I want to catch a fish, where are you going to put your worm? You're going to put it into the barrel with the 80,000 fish. So if I can get 10% of the people who didn't go out to vote to come out and vote for me, we're going to do okay. If I get half of the people who say they're going to go to vote for me, I'm going to do okay. But the thing is, we have to make sure that people don't lose interest. We have to keep people's feet to the fire. We have to keep them engaged. And I think that I've given them a chance, some kind of an opportunity, some hope to say, you know what? Let's go with Joe. Everything else hasn't worked, so why not do this now?
Bobby made a good point about 10 minutes ago about Sam Mees in the race and affecting your vote. I'm telling you right now, if I were you for the next week or so, I'd hammer him on his... How can you run living in Lawrence and running for a seat here? I don't understand it. I never will understand it. But, I mean, I don't get it. And I would hammer him on that one. Because, I mean, it shouldn't be. And I'm going to say he's a nice guy, but no, he should be living in the district.
You know,
I don't know that you addressed this already or not, Joe, that you stated you stated that you would have enrolled as a Democrat if you had a chance.
If I had a chance, I would have ran as a Democrat. And I give the analogy of this, and Bobby says it all the time. You look at what happened to Karen Casella. She ran as an unenrolled, and you realize that you can't do it without a party. They spent, each candidate spent upwards of $100,000 on the primary. That's a significant amount of money, and that didn't come from their pockets. There were people that were giving the money to them. And I use the analogy that if I was back at the Rogers School and I was playing kickball and I was leaning up against the wall and I wanted to play for a team that was going to win, I would want to play for the Democrats because they're a team. They play together. The Democrats that I grew up with, there's nothing wrong with that. I grew up in a Democratic household. Most of my friends grew up in a Democratic household. Most of my friends are in unions. I've been in a union my whole adult life. Most of my values come from the old Democratic Party. I used to say I was a Kennedy Democrat. Now, because there's a Kennedy in the Trump administration, I say I'm a Kennedy Republican. So it is what has happened. My views, my political views, the way I think is not guided by whether I have an R or a D after my name. That's why I feel totally comfortable by making a decision based upon the actual facts of the case, not party independent. If the voters in my district do not want something, or they do want something, that's what they're going to get. And we find now in Drake, we find, Tom, that the people are willing to pay the consequences for what they don't want. And some people can't grasp that hey, we know you've told us 100 times that we're going to have to pay for it, but we still don't want this shoved down our throat. And it's got way past the fact that it's multifamily homes or housing. It's gone way past that. It's gone past that part to a point where they're just tired of the state telling us what we have to do. And I say this all the time. The governor uses taxpayer money to sue the administration at the White House because they force things down their throat. The governor uses our tax money to force things on the taxpayers, in this case, Drake and the other communities that are being held against their will. They're using our taxpayer money to sue us. Now, we have to use our own money to defend us against the state who's using our taxpayer money for everything they want to other than helping us. And it's just ridiculous. And if people are going to sit and stay at home and not get out and vote, it's just, to me, we're our own worst enemies because it's happening right in front of our eyes. They're not even hiding it anymore. If they just took the emergency caption off of the housing crisis in Massachusetts and they put all the things out to bid, we'd save 20% right off the top. And if you just take the billion, the 1,000 millions, I like to call them, because we've seemed to lose sight of the fact that how enormous a billion is. It's 1,000 million. If we could take 20% off of that by putting it out to bid, then that would save $200 million that could go back to the cities and towns. Roughly $1 million each year back to the cities and towns. The cities and towns have suffered year after year over the past 5 years, 3 years more particularly since this governor has been around. The state, the money back to the cities and towns has not even kept up with inflation, and in some cases, it's down 5%. And they turn around and they tax us more for things. They want to tax us for everything. What happened to the millionaires tax? Where did all that money go? Why is it such? There's 53 cities and towns in the state that are going to have override votes. 53 cities and towns, and we can find $1,000 million to shelter people who just came here 6 months ago, that weren't even citizens or weren't even residents of the community of Massachusetts for 30 to 60 to 90 days, and we do everything for them. Everything. It's supposed to be temporary. Why is it ongoing? It shouldn't be. Temporary assistance, and that's it. You get a hand up, not a handout.
You know, Joe, this is how I feel about your election. I think in Drake, you're going to have no problem at all. Hopefully, you really blow everybody out of the water in Drake it, because I know you're going to do real well in Drake it. But then I look at all the towns, and I think you're going to do okay in towns also, because of being an independent. I think where I would focus is just on Lowell right now, to be honest with you. Because I look at you, because all I worry about, Joe, is the school system, okay? That's all I worry about.
Which my wife is a member of.
Well, and you mentioned the millionaires tax, and they didn't give the cities and state the right amount for schools. They ripped us off.
And they sold it as education and roads and infrastructure.
Yeah, but let me finish about the schools. I'm happy because your wife and you together do a lot. She does a lot for kids in the school system. I know that firsthand when I was on the 7 years on the school committee. And I know you've spent a lot of time around schools. And you know what's going on. I've met your family now. It's been tremendous. And what I also think is people have been sharing your sign, and your wife started it, I believe. You got a lot of people sharing that on Facebook. I don't know about any other place. I only deal with Facebook. I think that's another important thing. All your friends and family and everybody should go out and keep sharing it.
And I'd like to thank all the people who have texted me and called me, and as I'm driving by their signs, they've saved my signs from the snow. And if you see one that you can't get to, give me a call. I'll come out and get it. But we'll be around the next 2 days putting out, propping back up our signs. We know that was an unfortunate part of running this time of year, but we'll have them all scraped off to run for our re-election in November.
And Joe didn't bring any pastries for us like Karen Casella does. And Joe mentioned her, so I'm going to go back to her. The first time she ran in 2018, she ran as an independent. And she lost. The next time around, she ran as a Democrat because she's an independent, so she likes a little of this and a little of that, but she's an independent woman, which I absolutely am crazy for her, okay? Then she ran as a Democrat and won, So you're up against that, but I'm telling you, there's a whole lot of independents out there. That's how I feel. Whole lot of them.
Well, Bob.
So Bob and Joe, let me just cut in.
No, it's okay.
Honestly, my heart is we're all Democrats. You know what I mean? The base, the core of democracy, being a Democrat, is having a government that helps the needy, having a government that is fair to everyone. In Massachusetts, if you live in Mass, you're a Democrat, no matter what label you use it. The problem is we're all have been forced to go and vote as a Democrat, and it's just habit. And people need to wake up and realize that at the end of the day, if you look at all your candidates, they all come down to being one party. There's just some that are more conservative in the finance of government. You either have big government, which means you're going to pay more taxes, or government that is responsible and you pay a fair share of tax.
Yeah.
But at the end, we're all Democrats.
Yeah, but I love the Cisco. You know, I love every time I sit on the show, I try to tell people, don't forget, I supported Trump and I still support him. I do that. So I know my heart and soul, I was a Democrat. My grandfather taught me you got to vote for Mr. Howe. Dick Howe's watching your wallet. Vote for Dick Howe. And over and over and over, I'm voting for Dick Howe only because my grandparents told me that. But nowadays, I can't see many things the Democrats have done well. If you have a few, let me know, because I haven't seen it.
But they believe in good things. They have good intentions. It's something that happens when they get up to the State House. And I made this point last week. If you have 100% of the people that are voting for a bill that the Senate majority wants or the House majority wants, if 100% of them are voting, your district doesn't want it, why is it that you're not voting no? It's going to pass anyways. So the reason why is you have to play along. You have to look good. You have to say, oh, I'm going to vote yes, too. And people outwardly say that to you. I did it because I want to get a committee. I want to get on a committee to bring money back to the communities. How has that helped us with a committee, chairmanship, or anything? You have 2 state reps right now on the Ways and Means. Where's all the money coming into Lowell? Like that's the purse for the government. Where's all the money coming into Lowell? We're struggling. What's happening with that? It's just, to me, you can't legislate like that. There are Republicans up there that think like Democrats. There are Democrats that think like Republicans. Not everybody believes the stuff that's coming out of there. They can't, because I listen to them. I talk to them. I have conversations with them. They just all melt when they get on the floor and they vote.
Don't fool yourself for 1 second. Sooner rather than later, Vanna is going to get $50 million for the high school.
Probably.
That's what she's going to get, and it's going to happen on Monday, the day before the election.
Possibly.
Vanna! It's a Democratic Party trick.
Yeah, I
Joe, I
believe.
have a question for you.
Yeah.
If you're not successful next Tuesday, will you take her on the Democratic
Yes.
primary in September?
Yes.
Okay, good job. Good news. Good news.
Yeah, but we want to win now.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
A lot more people are going to vote in September, probably than next Tuesday.
I agree with Tom that there's going to be more folks out in September or November than now. But, I mean, you got to get these people engaged. I mean, if we go out and vote, we should have, our politicians in those seats, and that's simple as that.
Yeah. And I've been doing the work. I've been pounding the pavement. I've been knocking on the doors. I've been going to events. I've been having an absolute ball. I'm back in my old neighborhood in Back Central Street, visiting with people living in their grandparents' homes that lived there when I was growing up. They're showing me pictures of me and them in our confirmation gowns at St. Anthony's. Cisco, I've been in a couple events with you. I've skinned my knees at the South Common. I grew up in the North Common as a police officer. All of those people, they're starting to recognize who I am, although sometimes they call me Sergio Ocano. But that they recognize in me. They recognize me, and I say, some people are saying to me, it seems like you've been running for this for your whole life. And I can say that if you were to put a resume or an application or put the job title or the job application out there, I would have probably the most qualifications for this position than anybody running. I've lived in the district. I've lived in Lowell longer than most people that run. I think both of them. I've lived in Lowell longer, and like we were talking about earlier, I don't believe one of them does live in Lowell right now. I've lived in Tingsboro for 9 years. I lived in Dracut now for 23 years. I've been on the school committee, so I've represented Dunstable in the school committee, and I've known people from Pepperell from just just farming around. So I know all these people, and I have people in Purple and Dunstable saying to me, oh, I've seen your face. Like Bob was saying, I've seen you on Facebook. I saw you inside the supermarket. This happened in Purple. I saw you in the supermarket. This is the third time I've seen you, and you just seem like a regular guy. I didn't know you were shaking hands with people and you were saying hi. You just seem like a regular guy. Now I know you're Joe Espinola. So I'm getting the word out there. I don't think it's going to be as lopsided as it was. They have the mail-in vote. That's for sure. They've done their under the underlying network, the Underground Railroad network of mail-in voting and getting people registered to vote. But Bob, I'm holding steady with the fact that people have just had it, and they're going to come out next Tuesday. And I'm fortunate that the voting wasn't today because it was a mess yesterday.
Bob, you want to read this one?
The saddest part of politics is all the violence that comes with it. Wishing and committing harm on people you disagree with. It's almost like a religion with these people. But he sends in messages all the time also.
Yeah, it's sad. I've had an absolute ball. I say on my radio show when we bring candidates on to talk, I remember I had a conversation with Belinda Duran just recently. She had her first interview with Marty and myself. And after I was done, I said to her, I said, whether you win or lose, just think about all the people that you've met. And those people you would not have met had you not run. And take it as something in nourishing, enriching in your life that you got to meet so many people. It has been a joy. I've had so much fun. I've reconnected with so many people. People like we were just talking about, guys that I worked with at the prison system are reaching out to me. Can I get a sign? Can I hold a sign? It's just been overwhelming, to be honest. I have over 500 signs out there. You don't think you're going to get 100 out there, and people are calling and calling and calling, and it's just been heartwarming. It absolutely has been overwhelmed. I've overwhelmed myself with this. It is unbelievable, and I think that I'm giving somebody a choice. If I don't win, I've given people a choice, and if Vanna does come with $50 million on Monday, then I've done my job in that case too, because would she have brought it any other way?
Yeah, your party at Lindsay's I went to, that was a good time.
Yes, it was very well attended. Yep.
I kept thinking your son was Eric Gitch's son, I'm saying.
Yeah, they kind of look alike.
I made a mistake with him a few times, you know.
They grew up together. They went to high school together.
Yeah, but a good crowd. You had a good crowd, and it was a fun time.
Some good people were there. I really appreciaed all the support that I got. People are still supporting me on my Facebook account, on my website. It's Joe, the number 4change.com, Joe4change.com, and my cell phone number is 978-337-8427, 978-337-8427, 978-337-8427. And John, I got 5 phone calls last time I put my number out here.
You know, when you see the name Joe, and when we were younger, you'd call him Joey. Where's Joey? Yeah. And I had a cousin, Joey Hoey. Imagine that, Joey Hoey.
Joey Hoey, yeah.
But, I think you're going to do real well in this race. It's going to be hard to beat Van. It's going to be hard. I sat here. I was one of the people that sat here. I was going to vote for Elliott, but I kept saying, don't underestimate this girl. Yeah. Don't underestimate her crowd. All the nonprofits are going to be voting. I don't know why, but they'll all vote for her.
Well, if you want her...
There is a degree of people out there that are afraid that they're going to lose their pension.
No.
So you got a degree of people who work for government say, I want no changes. They're going to take away my pension. They're going to take away my sick time. I want no changes. I'm always going to vote for the Democrat because there'll be no changes.
And when I talk about fraud and abuse, when I talk about that, I want to take the money that's being abused and fraudulently misused and bring that back to people who need it. People like the 3 people that I met this weekend that have had their benefits. How about a couple $100 for them to help them with their medicine and their heat? How about these veterans that are making $20 too much and they don't qualify for SNAP benefits or whatever, so they have to go without. It just, to me, it's not a fair system. And you could check my math of me, look this up. Some or most of the benefits that you can qualify for. Your qualification is that you qualify for another benefit. So if you get SNAP, you're qualified for housing. If you get SNAP, you qualify for school lunches. Well, now they have all school lunches now for kids. If you qualify for Mass Health, you qualify for this benefit, for daycare. And there's no check in the math. So now you have people that are, and I did it myself. I did it a couple months ago. I checked how much a family of 5, 3 kids, a husband and wife that were living in the shelter downtown, $125,000 they were getting a year in benefits from the state, $125,000. That's 2 people in Lowell or Tingsboro or Dracut, Pepperell, Dunstable, 2 income households working every single day, not only to pay their bills, but to pay the bills of those people who didn't live in the United States 6 months ago. Where is that fair? And if they're supposed to be assimilating, and in 6 months, they come off of the rolls, and they are doing those jobs that the politicians are telling us. They're taking the jobs that nobody wants. Well, why are they on assistance for years? Why does that happen? Why do people die and their kids are still in the houses that the parents have? And I tell this story all the time. When my dad died, 3 days after he died, I was getting letters in the mail. We're sorry that your father passed away. All his credit cards have been canceled. Okay, that's fine. I didn't call them, but they knew my dad died 3 days after he passed away. And then I got the letter from the bank that the state retirement took 3 days that he was alive in that month. They took 3 days of his pension back, and they took it right back out of his bank account. So if the state can do that for my dad, who worked 32 years as a firefighter in this town, in this city, then why can't they do it to people that die that are getting complete benefits? Because the rest of the family is living in there. And they just don't check the math. And it's, the people who get the benefits will tell you it's not fair, because the people who actually need the benefits don't get the benefits that they actually need to survive.
Oh, you're right. You're right. You know what I'm looking at now? An issue that I think you'll have to deal with is electricity bills and how much that's costing people, because this state has about 800,000 to 1 million people without electricity. I can't believe that, but we're number one, I believe, after this storm. Most of it's down on the Cape. We didn't get hit that bad in Lowell. I think we got about 8 inches, but the wind was vicious. So I think you're going to deal with utility bills.
Good. It's affordability. 57% of your utility bill. Look at your utility bill. Again, don't trust my words. Look at your utility bill. It costs more for the green energy than it does for the actual service of it. And when I looked at it right before I started the election, I looked at the bills to see where all these were coming from. They're charging me $10 to be a customer. $10 a month to be a customer. So I'm a member of a club, I guess, that they send me a bill every month, and I pay $10 for the honor of them sending me that bill. Now, with you talk about utilities, I don't think I know anybody that's anti-save the environment. People want to save the planet. People believe in renewable energies. People recycle. People believe in that stuff when it's cost effective. When you are charging so much money for a system that is supposed to be up and running and 100% in use in 2050, think about that. Your cell phone is obsolete in 2 years. How is this system that they're putting in place now going to be sufficient in 50 years? A windmill is going to be what we're going to be using. Is solar what we're going to be using? Renewable batteries are going to be what we're going to be using. Where are we going to build these plants? Those are becoming a problem. We have the data plant up in South Lowell that's causing a problem. There is a battery plant in Tewksbury that they want to put in for renewable energy. That's causing a problem. Nobody's thinking. Nobody's sitting down. And it's to show you how people do not sit down and think about things before they act. The state put a commission together to design a new flag for the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. And I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but they want to redesign the flag because it's racist towards Indians. So they got a panel, and the panel was together for 2 years. A couple of months ago, they disbanded the committee that was designing the new flag. Do you know why they disbanded the committee? There was no American Indians on the panel. So they going to throw out the Commonwealth of Massachusetts flag because it's racist towards Indians. And no Indians are on the panel to design the new flag. So they scrapped that committee and they're back to the start. It only takes thinking a couple of steps ahead before you can stop putting your foot in your mouth. It's really easy to get things done. There's so much low-hanging fruit at the State House that you could get done if people would just come together and just give in a little bit for the common good of the people in this state.
So, Joe, if you're elected next Tuesday, what will be your first bill you will file? What's going to be your number one priority once you get down to Boston?
My priorities are going to be the audit. I'm going to do something about the energy bills. We're going to have to recess some of those utility bills. There's 12 fees that are on the utility bills, and not the $25 we're going to give you off, and we're going to charge you interest on it, and you'll be able to pay it in the summer when your interest bills are low. They just had it in the paper yesterday. The energy companies doubled their profits last year. Doubled their profits, and they're justifying the reasons why they've doubled their profits. Well, how about we take a little money off of them, because they don't qualify under the millionaire's tax, because they are the people that make the millionaire's tax that don't live in the state. We're losing earners, and we're gaining people that are counting on the earners. And what's happening is we're turning on the businesses in this state. We are number one in the exodus of businesses. We look in the paper, businesses are closing their doors daily. You drive through downtown Lowell, the shops are opening and closing. Red tape, taxes, unemployment insurance has gone through the roof. Regular insurance is through the roof. If you're not a family of 12, you can't support a business anywhere right now. I'm walking around in places in Dunstable and Pepperell, in Tingsboro and Drake. People are putting signs in their business windows because they like what I'm saying about whatever. And it's not just about trying to get things done out there. It's letting people know what's happening. Let people know. If there are people that, say the 72% in another district, and if maybe those people aren't paying attention, and maybe those people vote those same Democrats in year after year after year, not realizing that when they're up at the State House, they're voting against what they're saying when they're politicking back at home. So we got to bring attention to that. So all of the major things is affordability. Healthcare is absolutely number one on my list. Up top 5, healthcare, affordability, transparency with the audit, and the Second Amendment right. Why is it that they always go after the Second Amendment right? They talk about every single problem that we have in Massachusetts is a mental health issue, and it goes down to Second Amendments. They do something about the Second Amendment. They do nothing about mental health. I saw a thing last year that it was money for the 2025 budget, that they were putting money aside for workforce development. They have hundreds of millions for like the trades union, hundreds of millions for the medical facilities, and they had zero for mental health. The number was zero for mental health. And if you look around and you ask somebody who's looking for a therapist right now, they can't get them. It's incredible the amount of people that are looking for therapists right now. COVID didn't help. It put a lot of stress on people's, especially the kids. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm in college right now to become a therapist. I'm currently in the Middlesex LADAC program to be a licensed alcohol and drug counselor. So what I see out in the streets is important to me. Mental health is important to me. Affordability, the healthcare system. It is just upside down. I had a heart monitor, a routine heart monitor for an AFib problem I had about 7-8 years ago. And I get the bill in the mail, and I, thank God I only had to pay $420, but it was $9,050 for a cell phone that I pretty much ran the thing for 2 weeks. I changed the batteries, I charged everything, I changed the tape, the connections on it, $9,050. What happened? Why does it cost that much? Who is that money going to? Is that paying for people that are uninsured? It's becoming unaffordable, and they push everything on us. They say affordability, like the mileage tax, the Freedom to Drive Act, or whatever. What do they disguise that as? The freedom to drive or something like that. Everything is the freedom to drive. It's supposed to be a right for us, or something positive. And when you actually read the bill, it's like, wait a second, this is going to cost me a fortune. It's really sad. I'm hoping to bring some transparency with things like my Facebook page, with just communications on votes, the silent votes. Why aren't they all voice votes? Why do they have silent votes? They have roll call votes. I want to know how my state rep or my senator is voting. I want to know, because if I care about it, I want to know how it is. And you find out at the end of the year that the state reps that are in your district voted 100% with the district. And I joked around during the primary. People were they were giving Rodney and Vanna, and more Rodney, not Rodney, more Vanna, little chides, because she had Jamie Eldridge walking her around out in Pepperell and Dunstable. And if you looked at Mass Fiscal Alliance score, Jamie Eldridge has a higher score than both Rodney and Vanna together. So it was probably a benefit to have them walking around with him. But it's just, if you vote, it's the easiest thing to be an elected official right now, because your district is so vociferous about what they want and what they like and what they're asking of you. So when you go up there, if you vote no for something because your district doesn't want it, then you should feel good about yourself. If you don't get any money back, if you don't get the $50 million that might come on Monday, then you know, your district knows they did what you asked them to do. You did what they asked you to do. And I don't think I can put my head on my pillow every single night saying I did what my people wanted to. And
do you know Dickie Barrett that owns
Yes.
Kilkenny Pub?
Yep.
I drive him crazy. Come on, I asked him, run for city council, please. He won't, because he owns a business, just like John McDonough. It almost ruins them if they do something like that.
Yeah.
But I live in District 3, which is the voting district, and I'm telling you right now, I always look at the Danny Finn race. He lost by 11 votes. It was close. So all of Belanger's votes came to him, and he did a pretty good job. There's a lot of votes in District 3 for you. I know there is. You lived in
You
it?
need the towns.
Huh?
You need the towns.
Yeah.
Read these, Bobby.
Bob, currently 257,494 homes are without electricity. Yes, Southern Mass and the Cape are the hardest hit. I wish Joe the best of luck running against the machine, which you got that right. Keep running. Eventually the Howardly Lion will run out of courage and be defeated. Bart. Thank you, Bart.
It's not that Vanna is a bad person. I actually like her. If you like her and you want her to be a state rep, if she does not win next Tuesday, which I plan that she don't, she's still going to be the state rep. So you still have her as a state rep. I'm asking you to vote for me to be an outside view, another set of eyes, different set of opinions, something different than what we've had for a number of years. So we have people that have been there for a long time. I've had calls from people going back to who I'm going to caucus with. I've had calls since I've announced as an independent. I've had calls from both parties asking me to join prior to the time that I could have joined, like Sam did, and what I'm going to do once I get in there. So I'm shaking somebody's tree. I'm making somebody's eyes poke up, because they wouldn't be calling me asking me what I'm going to do after I win, should I win. So it's something that I'm looking forward to. I will do, honestly, what my district wants me to do. If my district stays with unenrolled, I will stay unenrolled, and we will caucus the way that I believe there was somebody important up there to do it. And at this time, I feel that the most connection I have up at the State House is with Diana DeZoglio. So I will do whatever I can to support her, to get her audit, because I really believe that this state is hemorrhaging money, whether it's being stolen or whether it's being pillaged or whether it's just being amused or misused or whatever you want to to call it. Let's put the plug in the hole and stop the gap and try to get the money from where it's going to back to the communities, to help our cities and towns, to help the people, our neighbors who need help, who are suffering right now. Let's get the help back. And our number one employers in the state are nonprofits, the hospitals and the colleges. If we run out of businesses, those are nonprofits. They don't pay taxes. If we're running out of business, that means that we're getting more people that are taxpayers that are leaving Massachusetts, more people that aren't paying taxes coming into Massachusetts. So the people left paying taxes are paying more taxes every single year to cover the people who don't pay taxes.
We're running out of time, Joe. We only got about 5 minutes left. Tom, Cisco, either one of you have something to say to Joe?
I'm just saying, Joe, you're pretty tight with Diane Desaglio, huh?
Correct. I met her a long time ago when,
Great.
yeah.
It'd be great maybe after this election's over, we get her on our show some morning. I mean, I know she's been making the rounds because I see him on Facebook on a lot of different shows throughout the state. So it'd be great to get her on City Life some morning.
And that's another thing, Tom. I tried to get some of my friends up there, both R's and D's, to come down and support me with their presence. And I get the old, well, my party will not like that if I do it. So I'm stuck with that. But trust me, I have some support up there, both sides.
The election is next Tuesday, huh?
A week from today, March 3rd.
Ooh,
Yep.
that's close.
The
Yeah.
forecast out there is we're not going to be getting 50 million on Monday.
I'm sure. Well, you and brace yourself because
I agree with Joe that we need to get more taxpayers and less people on the other end because it's simple math. The more people that you have paid taxes, the less we all pay. The less people we have paying taxes, the more we're all going to pay. So we definitely need jobs, and we need jobs that are non-profit.
we have the most technical education system, higher education, lower education. That's another thing I want to work on. When you talk about the Greater Lowell Tech with their lottery system that they were just forced to get, they didn't fix the problem. There's 1,000 people on the waiting list, or whatever the number is, because there's not enough seats. So we have all these buildings open. Make another vocational school. Do another after dark program, which we started when I was on the Voc school board. Right? You have 1,000 people waiting for that seat, then there's a problem. You don't have enough seats. You don't change the people that are on the waiting list. You change enough seats. And remind you this: the education secretary who stuffed that down the vocational schools' throats has left. He left the administration. The administrator, the cabinet member who stuffed the MBTA down our throat, that person, Ed Augustus, just left. So what's happening with this turnover on Mara Hills is I don't think the people are buying into the things that they're trying to sell the people. The people that they're trying to get to sell it to us, they don't believe in it either. So it's time for the voters not to believe in it and vote someone like me in next week on March 3rd.
Well, thank you for voting for that after dark. I have a grandson that's graduating from that this year.
Fantastic
Number one.
program.
When you said we need a building, the old Lowell Trade School pretty soon is going to be empty. And when they move those children over to the high school, we gotta keep that building. Just exactly what you said. Start some type of trades. It's happening now from Freddie Bahu.
Yep. Freddie's a big proponent of it.
I tried to break in it when I was on the school committee. They didn't want to hear it. Finally, we got Eric Gitcher.
Yep.
Someone that's our mayor. We're going to do really good in Lowell. I'm telling you, we're going to do really good.
Eddie Kerwin-Kelty says Eddie Kennedy tried to get the $50 million. He couldn't do it.
Yeah, there are people saying that. Yep.
Eddie Kennedy got a lot of money for all these areas when he was here.
He helped Greater Lowell.
Oh, without a doubt.
Eddie was a good guy. I spoke with him on several occasions in regards to some veterans and first responders bills that he was helping me with. And he's a good guy. And I know him personally from his brother was a police officer. And so I've met and hung around with Eddie as just a family man. And just a regular person. So I've known him a while.
And tomorrow City Life, we got Linda Brown's going to be here along with Hillary Winterstrom. Thanks.
Yeah, so I'll give
60
you.
seconds, Bob.
Yeah, I'll give you a quick one about Ed Kennedy and myself. You know a lot about motions. He said, "Hey, Bob, put this motion in." I moved to build the high school at Colley Stadium. And then I said, "I'm for downtown. I ain't doing that." He goes, "When it comes to you, vote no." Blew the whole issue out of the water. I'm not proud of that because a lot of people got mad, especially the way it was done. Go back and look at the motion I put in. I loved him as a mayor. I think he's the best mayor out of the four, maybe five that I worked for. He was the best.
Say goodbye, kids.
Goodbye and thank
See
you.
you next week, guys.
Goodbye.
Vote for Joe.
Vote for Joe.
Vote for Joe.
Joe, thank you. Thank you for running. Thank you for getting out there. Go knock on those doors. Get those voters out to vote on March 3rd.
All right, get yourself out.
Joe and Cisco.
Yeah, Tom, thank you. Cisco, thank you. I didn't give you a lot of time, but we wanted to give Joe the most time, so we did that. Share the show. Share it. Love
We'll
you.
see you next week.
Love you guys. Yep.
Here's a perfectly good example of an inexperienced snowball run. Right there. The corner of the street, you've got a snowbank, you can't see it. Now, you're driving up this street, how can you see?
You get tunnel vision after a while. The city did a good job, from that break, it's coming downtown.
Hey, you brought up hospital stuff. I just went through that out of there. Because I have a state retirement, and what do you call it, when you become 65, Medicare.